Hello everyone, I'm Ben, aka Palpatine001, aka Center, and we are back with City Skylines 2 and another Waikato special. And in this Waikato special, we are going to be covering what a little mod that I found, and quite a good mod, that expands on the city policies that you can enable in this game. Anything that gives more realism. And I'm just checking out a few new mods I've put in. Anything that gives more realism in the management of my city is always greatly appreciated. Now, at the moment, for this special video, the simulator will remain on pause. And the reason is I'm preparing for the 6.x part of the Waikato series, which covers the city centre. And as you can see, I've got the big signature buildings being set up in that, ready to do the city centre. Now, because they do things like attract residents, students, and businesses in that, as well as tourists, as well as impact traffic movement and zoning, I do not want to have the simulator ready to go yet. So the simulator will remain paused. If you want to know which structures I have put in, so that one's already in. So the big Silver Dragon, which is the tallest tower in the game. Okay, excuse me. Of course, the observation tower was put in, which is part of the vanilla assets. And let me just fix up a spelling error. And we've put in the Terminal City Bank, which actually comes out of the administration side, which comes from right here, and that includes a subway terminal. So of course I've been also getting the subways and that all set up. So of course I don't want a simulator going for something that I am not ready yet. I am just going to check back on one of the other signature buildings, SK. So which one's got the City Hall? That one. That's the big Seaworth building, which is not... Yeah, so I don't need to worry about that. Yeah. So something that will stay on pause for this until I'm ready with 6.0. I said because I'm still currently setting it up, but just take this off. So we're at Waipa Point, which in 5.3 and 5.4... basically was along with Clevedon, which is over here, supporting the timber, the lumber and agriculture, or the rural industries. So as you can see here, I'm on Waipa Point, a little bit further back itself. So I'm not on the ferry terminal. I'm actually further back along with the English and Eastern European housing. If I was to go along the point, to follow the road. Come along to the Aussie Quarter. You can see as I come along towards the ferry point. You can see the ferries there. So we're now on the point, and you can see getting ready to do the city centre. So we'll leave it from there. Right, so in this special, we're covering the city expanded policies. And they can be found under where your normal city policies are. So as I said, the idea behind the mod is to expand some more realism. So any mods that increases the realism of your city planning or city management or city operations, I'll usually do. Won't do all of them, but I'll usually do them, and I usually do them in CS1 as well. So you can see, currently see the vanilla set here, so they're always on. Don't need this one. Don't do that because I always export out. And of course the taxi fare. So the expanded policies, now to see it on Paradox mods, And it's currently open now, so I've opened it up. But on Paradox Mods, it's called the Expanded City Policies. I'm in the website version, not the Sky 2 version at the moment, so it won't show up in the playset. But as you can see, real choices. This basically has over 100 real trade-offs. No free bonuses here. Every policy I enable will have a cost somewhere else. Many conflict with each other, so you can't do everything. One, manage your government like you would manage, well, in my case, the transportation system. So that's, if you do play CS2, that's the name of the mode by Frenchy Toasty. It's a wonderful mod, and it does actually give real impacts to the city, including your budget line. So if I was to pop out 200, negative 250 at the moment. I forget it's because, yeah, the commercial has not fired. No, it's because I've got some very expensive, probably some very expensive civic infrastructure on the ground at the moment. And it hasn't caught up yet. So, of course, you're going to show up at a massive budget. Yeah, massive budget deficit until I bring it bring in the new residents. So I am in the middle of a city expansion stage at the moment. Of course, that's where the growth currently is sitting. Okay, so city policies. So this is what it is, and each one all has their effects. We'll go through briefly each one and why I might not do it. 4-day work week. So that's mainly for the public services. But your output drops out a bit, so your office efficiency is down. But hey, 4-day work week, Monday to Thursday. Yay! Aggressive tourism. I've got a mod that focuses on that, so I could. So that would be a bit impacted. AI. Yeah, no. Anti-BNB. Not really. Anti-smoking campaign. Oh, I suppose I could turn that on. Anti-tourist, well, that would be a bit silly. I can understand there is cases of this in the real world where you have over-tourism. So, no. Not in my case. Plus, I've also said I've got a mod in play at the moment that would render this a bit silly. Austerity package. Austerity does not lead to growth, it leads to cuts and annoying a whole lot of people except for those who benefit from the parasitical wealth extraction. Yes, I said that. And as you can see here, automation push. Actually, because we've got lack of workers, this would benefit industry. Backyard oil, nope. Okay, so the cross out means it's, and you'll see it in the red wire, and it's a Big Brother, no. Budget healthcare, no. Business subsidies, yep. Yep, you get a subsidy if you wish to set up here. Cars free trade zone, no. Coding in schools, no. Comfy prisons, I actually don't have a crime problem. I've only got 5 prisoners in the thing at the moment, so that's a case of not needed. Comfy prisons. Sorry, that was community tolerance. Composting mandate, which is currently on. Must be common. So those are those little green bins you might see on the side of the road. Construction subsidy. So my buildings level up to level 3, 4, and 5 much faster. Consumption tax, or as we call it here in New Zealand, goods and services tax. So shifting away from income tax to consumption. Not a bad thing if you're trying to stop overconsumption. Crime tolerance. No. Crypto, definitely no. Deposit return scheme. Bottles in that carry a deposit return scheme. I should turn it on. Noise the taxpayers, which is okay. Drone place, no. Drug decriminalisation. Yeah, I should do if I believe in my social liberal politics. Electronics hub. No, because we've got repair to right. Repair, a right to repair. Express fines. No. Fake cameras. No. Fibre for all. So that's basically what you have. Well, in New Zealand, for most cases, fibre for everyone. Fishing optimization. Fishing yields are fine. Flat taxes. No. Okay, because that's regressive. Ironically, like consumption taxes. Forced telehealth. No, don't give our current real-life health minister ideas. 4-day industry? No, because I need all the output I can get right now. Can't do a 4-day work week because I've got the no homework policy in place. Free daycare. Free museums on Mondays. Gotta help with the tourists. Residents adorers, payrolls, they say. Yep. Well, that's it. That's it. Ironically, the 4-day working week means if it's Tuesday to Friday, then everyone can go free on Monday anyway. Free university. No. And with the budget also currently enabled, so I'm going to come back out of it. We go into education. Ooh, hello there. That's why we've got a massive... Oh, shoot. Have I lost the mod? I just realised we've got a mod in place that allows for fees and that. Yes, it is enabled, but it's not showing up in the system. Oh, don't tell me I've got to actually enable it, which is going to set this all off. Okay, so the budget's going to be actually out of position at the moment. Because it might be waiting for... yeah, it's not showing up here yet. Okay, that's a note. So, okay, so that budget is definitely up because all the policies haven't kicked in yet. Alright, back to city policies. Where were we? Free university. No, because you actually have to pay for your going to university. Free trade zone. No. Friendly beat cops. Maybe not. Gig worker rights. Platform workers get employed. Yes, that should be enabled. Heavy industry surge, because we've got a low emission zone, that doesn't happen. And heritage protection, that's not going to happen. Homeless shelters, yes. Hospitals, 24/7. We don't have a major health issue at the moment, so no. Import everything, no. I have the factories here. We actually, if you watch the my vlogs and blogs and that, we actually have quite a self-sufficiency stretch going on. Industrial carbon tax. We don't actually have a major air pollution problem because we also have one of the fees. That's actually garbage, although that also counts as garbage. We actually, if you're a polluting industry, you actually pay more in a levy around garbage and that. And again, I don't think that's currently enabled either. No, it's not. Let's keep scrolling. Influencer doctors? Yeah, no. And influencers, definitely no. Land value tax is enabled, which is actually a debate here in New Zealand at the moment with our real life elections. Land instead of buildings. So it actually forces you to upzone or upgrade your buildings quite quickly. Late night bars. And the library, so if you don't want to get sloshed at a bar, you can go to a library. Works either way. We don't have Krypton policy. Low emissions zone. So that reinforces the combustion vehicle ban too. Made local, of course. We don't have mandatory university. Medical tourism. No. Well, because we've got fibre to all, wireless is not quite as needed. We do have a mental health program. City-owned casino. Along with, I'll think about it. I'll think about it if I can't get the budget back in line. That's one hell of a way to get your budget back in line. Yoga. Wellbeing. Whoops, did I miss? Yeah, why not? Let's turn that on. Neighborhood watch. Of course, nosy Parkers. Night curfew's off because we've got late night bars. Night factories are off because we've got 4-day work week and low emission zones. Night trucking. That's handled by a realistic trips. No homework. Down with homework. Bart Simpson. Don't need offshore crackdown. Yeah, no. Open data city. Yep. Outdoor fitness. Now, we technically have that as a park, but, hey, well-being of the citizen. Paid emergency rooms? No, because that doesn't fit in the universal healthcare department. Paid landmarks? No. Permanent festival? No, I've also got late night bars. Pet friendly city? Yep. Pets are allowed here. Plastic ban. Don't have a pollution problem, so living out. And we're definitely not doing police state. No. No. Now, progressive tax is not actually, ironically, not enough because we've actually got a land value tax in place. So that's interesting. Protectionism. We've got made local on. Public, I'm not that mean. Public service outsourcing. Nope. Quarry moratorium. Nope. R&D grants. Yes. Rent controls. Yes. Repair culture. Construction subsidy is online. And reshoring drive is also... what's that one done? Made local. So, yeah, it's basically one over the other. Restorative justice. Yes. Why not? Right to disconnect? Yep. And something I actually also practice at home too. Right to repair? Big thing in the EU? Yes. No point having an automation with robot tax. School is overrated. A few would like that one on. Service budget boost? No. So, no, because I've got gig workers' rights. Silent industry. My industry's usually far away from residential, so no. Slow life. Oh dear. Afternoon siestas, everyone. Smart grid. Yes. Social housing is on, so we do build more public housing outside of the zones. No, because I've actually got that disabled. Soft vaccine mandate. leave that off. We do have a street art program. No, because we've got racetracks for that. Oh, closed roads on weekends. Why not? No. Nope, that's all fine. Sugar tax. Nope. Symbolic taxes, tax paradise. No. Theoretical zero waste. Haha, that's a PR campaign. Nope. Tourist tax. Nope, because actually we tourist income's actually quite high. We'll see. I'll see how the budget goes. If we're out running a high surplus, I might leave it alone. Or I could just drop my normal taxes and the tourists can end up paying. But that would usually be done if we start facing an over-tourism problem. We're not doing toxic free trade zone. Universal basic income, UBI. Universal healthcare is actually, this one's actually quite interesting to say because we've got social housing. I'd like to know why that's done. Urban Fish Hub. That's a funny one. Vacant property tax. Which also kicks the up levels quite quickly. And vocational schools. Trade schools, we call them here polytechs. War on drugs. No. Wastewater reuse technically already happens and I don't have a water shortage. So that already technically happens. Okay, so the big wastewater treatment plant you get in the game, as well as the Japanese version, already does it, and we don't have water shortages. If I was doing a desert map, definitely. Wealth tax, because I've got land value tax, it's one or the other. White night, I've got late nights open, so no. Wild imports, no. And zero tolerance tags, no. So those are the city policies currently enabled. Now, what it doesn't do, unfortunately, is give me a, to my knowledge, it doesn't give me a rundown of everything I've got enabled and what the plus or minuses are on the site overall, which is a bit of a letdown there, but that's okay. Put in a recommendation to the creator to get it. And also, I can also filter out to active and inactive policies. So filter. So that is basically telling me all the taxes I have got enabled. So it does, for the most part, although there's a couple of conflicts in place that I thought would have been a little bit odd. Does lean onto my social liberal morals, ethics, and ideology. Social liberalism continues to allow enterprise, freedom of movement, freedom of speech, and so on, and individual liberty, but it also stresses heavily on collective liberty and a welfare system that not only protects against greed and hyper-individualism, but also if you fall on hard times, there's a system in place to get you back on your feet and away you go again. So, and there's also a strong environmental bent as well. So that's around social liberalism. So those are the city policies there. It's again a wonderful little mod, and again it comes from the expanded city policies, which is wonderful thing, and it does play around with things like demand and that. So great little mod to have. It does affect things in this is no good at the moment because I need to scan it when the things are running. So a very handy little mod to have if you want some more realism. Again, it works in the background. So it will impact things like your demand, your production, and of course your city budget, and there's also your attractiveness to Sims wanting to move in. So that's that little mod there. So that's where we will leave that special. I'm heading now towards the city centre area. So you can see I'm working on starting to get the city centre area all set up for 6.0. And it also, that includes underground, so you can see the subways coming in. So that's the big central subway plaza. And of course it's been all the subways, or most of the subways are being linked up. And so on, and so on, and so on. And if I get this right, I will actually have another subway yard over here. So that's where we are in preparation for getting ready for 6.0, if you're wondering where things are at the moment. In the meantime, do check out my second review, Waikato review part 2, Waikato growing up. Link in the end screen and the end screen, and link below in the description box, and see where we've gotten to for Waikato at 173,000 residents, given the first review was done when it was at between 37 to 62,000 residents. A lot has changed since, especially as we get ready for the city centre. This concludes part 2, looking at the expanded policies, which gives more realism into the game, and anything that gives more realism I will usually do to get my cities as close to real life as possible. The last of the current specials, I will be looking at the transit timetables, which was another mod done, and how that gives a real life planning aspect to when you're setting up your transit system. So, which one feature includes setting up the terminuses. And the other setting on how frequent you want your buses, trains, ferries. And when I mean trains, I mean heavy rail, metro, and light rail. So I will cover that in the last special, because that will also cover that leans into Transit by Design by Nicholas Reed, which I have done a review on as well. I'm Palpatine001 aka The Set, otherwise known as Ben. I'm a real life planner here in Tamaki Makaurau, Aotearoa, Auckland, New Zealand. And this has been the latest Waikato special looking at the expanded policies. We will be back with the last of the current round of specials looking at transit timetabling or transit planning, as well as getting ready for 6.0, the city centre itself. As always, planning, building, and experiencing.